Role players come and go. All-time greats, forever remembered, cherished, beloved and talked about every single day of the week. Michael Jordan's been retired for over 20 years now, and many hoops junkies still think about him every day of their lives since they start falling in love with the game. With this new season slowly creeping up on Thanksgiving, many already forgotten about former #1 pick Markelle Fultz struggled mightily last season, a non-shooter, fell out of Orlando's rotation. Now bad rebuilding teams don't want him. Age 26, considered too old, and the top tax-paying teams can't afford to offer anything more than a minimum. Being way too shy, not expressive of himself, won't do him any favors. While guys like Thanasis won't get signed unless he's with Giannis. Davis Bertans literally gave up after hearing about getting cut during the Olympics.
You were got by the Charlotte Hornets. What is your initial reaction knowing that you're not going to play there anymore?
All I can say is I really don't care right now.
Gave no damn whatsoever. James Bouknight with his off-court troubles and production struggles, everybody saw that one coming. Evan Fournier had enough of the league, will finish out his career in Europe, but come this April, May and June, it'll be the last time for a bunch of players to ever step foot on the NBA court without a single farewell. The ones right now not giving a damn, starting with the pathetic Ben Simmons of the Brooklyn Nets. Every game that passed by, one step closer for the league, saying hallelujah. It's been over 3 years since his Game 7 meltdown, and yet the former #1 pick's done absolutely nothing to improve his game, gave up entirely on his team, fought for every dollar possible, gets hurt, blows out his back, day to day, week to week, month to month, then out the season. Enough is enough for the 28-year-old who's becoming the biggest wasted talent of this generation. Everybody's already tired of hating on Simmons already. All that repeated cycle, rinse and repeat, summer workouts, looks good in the LA Fitness 3-point gyms, workout hoax videos, false promises again and again. He'd make a good politician at this point. It's like an ex-girlfriend promising she will become different and better this time around. You're given so many chances before same shit happens. Waiting all these years till his contract runs out after 2025, nobody will miss him in uniform. No player in recent times brought in more delusional hope. It's clear he doesn't love the game or respect basketball as his profession. Still refuses to shoot threes. No other player makes it more obvious they don't give a damn. Born with the unique gifts being 6'10 and a natural feel for the game, if you don't work hard, there's only so far talent can take you. He's already made over $200 million after 2025 at the young age of 28. Given how messed up his back is, most of the all-time greats who suffer severe injuries found ways to return in top form. With all that extra off time during his young years, he's not a basketball junkie for all we know. Does anybody know Ben Simmons asking any greats for advice? Absolutely not. Lacks competitiveness, getting pathetic to the point if he just attempts a freaking 3-point shot and even airballs it, fans will just be clapping, cheer him on like he's completed step 1 of kindergarten. An absolute travesty of a disgraced attitude. Only a few more months till Cancun forever. Javon Carter of the Chicago Bulls, the oldest looking 29-year-old in the NBA, had his best season in 2022 with Milwaukee, now an absolute shell of himself on a bad team, off the bench, super undersized at 6'1", struggles to shoot. Anytime he steps on the floor, Bulls fans expect it to be garbage time when it's only the second quarter, daydreaming about Cooper Flag. Unless he gets sent back to the Bucks, a player option for next season brings absolutely nothing to a bad team. Perhaps getting traded to the Nuggets for Zeke Naji, having Jokic make him look relevant, that could work. If the Lakers don't end up getting back their beloved Dennis Schroeder, Carter's someone they likely settle for. Dwight Powell of the Dallas Mavericks, what does he do for Dallas at this point? A couple weeks, he'll be a Maverick for a full decade. After becoming the worst starting center back in 2022 and 23, the addition of Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford made the 33-year-old irrelevant overnight. From being arguably the worst starter to deep on the bench Udonis Haslem role, Powell's been unplayable, terrible hands, struggles to finish around the rim, and yet not even in the final season of his contract. A year left as a player option, playing a whooping 14 minutes in the Denver loss, 5 rebounds, 3 fouls, being top 10 in win shares for the Mavs only due to longevity, the type of random guy to appear on the Dallas statistical history books. If he makes it until the Mavs win a title, could become the perfect teammate to get nominee for Teammate of the Year, similar to Nick Collison of OKC and Haslem to Miami. Powell just accidentally loyal by mistake. Lively missing more time with shoulder injury will only infuriate Mavs fans after seeing many struggling years of Powell. If either Lively or Gafford needs to miss time, Dallas should consider signing another backup center. Powell can continue warming up the seats on the bench, seeing him the first player to sub in. An absolute travesty decision by Jason Kidd. The legend of Dwight Powell getting minutes for the franchise, just an annual tradition, never failing to find itself back. Gary Harris, absolute shell of himself, barely clinching onto a roster spot, now 30 years old, shockingly given an extension 2 years $15 million from 17.5 point average in 2018, being the starting 2 guard for young Jokic, to not so G money from the field, too many cold games, only reason he's still on Orlando being the team's best outside shooter, something they really need to improve on with KCP off to an awful start. Harris only has one job, 82 combined minutes for a 5-game stretch, went 0 of 10 from 3, too many missed shots for a promising young playoff squad who desperately needs to rely on their outside shooters, logging more minutes than the better Cole Anthony. This team, having Paolo out for a while, desperately needs contributions from somebody that can put the ball in the hole. Being the 12th leading scorer on the team, once Anthony Black gains more confidence and gets better, Harris won't have much of a role going forward. Trey Lyles, borderline unplayable, looks lost for Sacramento. 15 minutes a game, starting out 11 of 42 from the floor, 7 of 31 from 3. Every time he makes a 3, it's now considered a sign of relief. Many forget he's 6'9", but plays like he's 6'2" out there. Passes up open layups inside, his confidence looking shattered with the addition of DeMar DeRozan, who's nothing short of spectacular. Way too sluggish for a team that's trying to compete for the playoffs. Coming off a groin injury, his D ain't helping either. From averaging over 10 a game just 3 seasons ago, then down to 7.6 to 7.2 and reduced by half, contracts up after this season, overseas the likely destination. Marvin Bagley III, the same Bowie to Michael Jordan's Luka Doncic. Bagley not even half of what Bowie is. Already his 7th season, too injury prone, every time he finds a rhythm, gets hurt, out for several months, hasn't played more than 48 games in the season since his rookie year, an absolute bust of a travesty. The dysfunctional Pistons offered him laughable 3 years $38 million. Who were they even bidding against? Now in the final year of his $12.5 million annual contract, Detroit had enough of him last season. On a bad Washington team where he's playing for another contract, the most important year of his career, the 6'10" power forward, one of many examples of ultra-talented American players who excelled at youth, high school, and college level due to size and athleticism, but never properly developed the necessary skills and b-ball IQ to succeed at the highest level. A poor shooter from beyond 15 feet, not good defensively, a terrible screener, doesn't rebound well for his size, has absolutely no right hand, way too one-dimensional as an elite inside scorer. Bench players need to be multifaceted to keep themselves in the rotation for good teams. An absolute disgusting 85 and 180 career record. He'll easily reach 200 losses before 100 wins. If he didn't have those injuries and play an average of, let's say, 68 games a year, many teams might still take a chance, but missing all these games, why would anyone want to deal with him at this point? Bones Hyland. From averaging double figures for a playoff team as a rookie, led by Jokic, nobody heard his name in a long time. Barely playing for the Clippers, the 24-year-old hothead became full of himself. That's what the greatness of Nikola Jokic brings to his below-average level NBA teammates. Had his chances in Denver, didn't capitalize, no discipline, unwilling to round out his game. When Jamal returned, both lashed out on one another. An absolute travesty of a downfall. Bones could have remained silent and been a good teammate on the bench, but demanded more playing time only to get sent to another team, getting less time, needing to fight for another contract, not making any splashes, playing himself right out the league. His attitude and selfishness, the biggest blame for his destructive consequences. Christian Wood of the LA Lakers, from 21 points a game empty stats king with the tanking Rockets to just 50 games with the Lakers, a terrible defender, now 29 years old, of all people saying he was gonna have a revenge season in street clothes for 4 more weeks, has not held purple and gold in any impactful manner, forever remembered for being part of one of the dumbest sports takes ever heard by Richard Sherman, comparing him to Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol, a Lakers great, jersey just went in the rafters. During his Lakers career, averaged 18 and 9, or 18 and 10.
Okay.
This boy coming in is averaging 18 and 9 over the last three years. 38% shooting from three.
Yep.
Like, I feel like he's going to be a great asset. I don't understand why we got him for this price. That's the question mark. I'm trying to figure out why he was sitting so late.
Having knee soreness, only making $3 million a year, there's a reason why he was a late free agent signing back in 2023. Despite averaging near 17 a game for Dallas, won't be surprising if the Lakers trade him before he gets healthy to play a single game. Having surgery last season, then again recently, him and Jared Vanderbilt spend more time in the treatment room together than on the actual court. Mr. King of jinxing himself, every team he's been on, they magically just get worse. 8 seasons in the NBA, 0 playoff games played. Will he break the curse come April 2025? Rashad Holmes, it's over. Not getting time on the Wizards, the perfect retirement home. Holmes getting minutes will just take away from the young guys. Mr. Injury prone, only played 70 games one season. Dallas changed overnight after getting rid of him for Daniel Gafford. If Dwight Powell is getting more minutes than Holmes, you know his career is coming to an end. Johnny Davis, a typical Wizards bust. Drafted over J-Dub, franchise then gave Bradley Beal 5 years $250 with no trade clause 2 weeks later, paid till 2026, the type of guy that has overseas vibes written all over him. If he's even worse than Jerome Robinson, the more Washington plays him, more indication they trying to tank for Flag. Other players with multiple years left on their deals looking more irrelevant by the week. Zeke Naji never plays, $8 million a year, waste of cap space. Marcus Sasser getting left out the Pistons rotation, a second-year guy, anticipate him to be traded soon.